episode of Talking Recovery with, and today we've got Liz DC. So Liz, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey of how you got into this industry, what you do day to day.
So I'm Liz. I'm a senior member of the British Stunt Register. I've been doing stunts profession for 9 years now. And I also run a small riding school, stunt-specific riding school with my husband, Mike Collin, in Derbyshire. I got into stunts through horses, always rode, like when I was younger and stuff, and show jumped, and then transitioned into the stunt world through there.
And how did you get into the stunt world from horses? Because that's a similar thing but quite different.
Yeah, I actually, in a completely different world, went to uni to study costume production, trained to be a seamstress, and worked in fashion for about a year, which seems wild because it's really not suited my lifestyle at all. And I still rode behind that and amongst that, but I just wasn't happy, didn't enjoy it. I don't suit a kind of office style job, even though it was interesting and it was challenging me. It was working indoors, same thing every day. So I was chatting to friends at the time and I just said I want to do something different, and they got me to actually write a list of everything I've ever thought of doing, doesn't matter how obscure, just put it on the list. So I did that, and then we were having a discussion, and one of the things I wrote, I think, was riding horses in film. It wasn't even stunts because I didn't know that was a career. And one of my friends said, do you mean doing stunts? I thought, don't know, do I? And they said, I've got a friend who's training for the Stunt Register. To the time was JISC, it was the Joint Industry Stunt Committee, way back when. It's now transitioned to into the British Stunt Register. They said, I've got this friend who's training, let me introduce you. And I started speaking to him, and he sent me all the requirements. And the more I looked into it, the more I thought, this is what I want to do. This is amazing. So I literally handed him my notice, quit my job, and started my training.
Going from costumes to stunts, that's quite a big difference physically, the capacity you have to be under for doing stunts. Did injuries cross your mind as maybe something putting you off from going into stunts?
You know what, I don't know if it's just naivety maybe, or stupidness. Some people say brave, I think probably stupidness, but it's not really something that I thought about. I've always been not a daredevil by any means. I am aware that things are dangerous, but I've always been a bit of an adrenaline junkie and liked doing more dangerous things. Even just with the horse riding, I never rode the easy horse. If there was one that chucked someone off, I'd be like, I'll ride that one. And literally I would switch with people in the riding school when I was first learning to ride to get the trickiest one, and that just always excited me, I think. So yes, it was a big transition from doing a 9 to 5 kind of sitting down job to training full-time stunts, but I was still quite sporty and active around that anyway.
What did your parents think when you said I'm going to do stunts?
Yeah, I think they were initially quite shocked, and then I persuaded them that it was actually safe, and that, as I just said, we're not daredevils, we're stunt performers. The reason we do the training is so that we can do stunts safely and in a controlled environment on set.
So talk about training. So how often are you training for injury prevention? Have you got certain programs, routines that you stick by to make sure you're safe?
Well, when I was training for the register, it was very different from what it is now. So to get on the British Stunt Register, you need to do 6 skills up to a certain level. It's all on the website if anyone wants to look into it. And so you mostly just train yourself with that. So for example, if you're doing a martial art, you'll find a club near you and you'll train that up to a certain grade. Other skills like the horse riding, you just train yourself somewhere and then you can go and sit the registered test. So back then it was kind of an aim, there was a main goal, everything was sort of a tick list. I'm maybe overly organized with things, and I actually made a plan, an Excel spreadsheet plan. Everyone thought I was absolutely mad, but yeah, it probably is. But I think because I'd come to it, I thought then it was later in life, but I see now actually it was fairly early on. I think I was 22 when I started training, but because I'd already kind of had a career and been to university and it was a big change for me, I sort of thought, well, I can't spend forever on this. I need to kind of give myself an allocated time, and if I don't make it in that allocated time, all that's happened is I've got fit, I've learnt new skills, I've made friends. It's no loss. But it also gave me a target. So I gave myself 3 years, but I would do 6 monthly reviews basically. So I had a time frame for each skill, and then every 6 months I would look at the spreadsheet and see where I was within that skill. Am I up to date with it? Am I lagging behind? Could I pick something up earlier? And I actually ended changing one of my skills towards the end because it was taking so long, and I switched it for something else that I thought I could do quicker to get on the register. So that was very, very focused training. And alongside all the sports, I did a lot of yoga to try and keep myself, stretchy and fit and everything. It's completely different now. I'm terrible, and you're gonna this is not a good example for everyone, but we now, because we run the riding school and we have a small holding and we have 9 horses and 3 dogs and a stunt career, a lot of my training has fallen by the wayside, and with that a lot of personal care as well. But in the same vein, the yard keeps me incredibly fit, but useful strength, I suppose. It's not like I could go to the gym and lift weights, and that's very good for that, but maybe not specific for the things I do. But looking after horses, as you well know, keeps me strong in a useful way. That keeps me fit and safe for sex. And the trip riding, of course. The more we train that, then the stronger I get with that.
It's all quite functional training.
Exactly that. It's functional fitness. So yes, everyone always says to me, like, "Why are you so strong? Do you go to the gym?" And I'm like, "Oh, I can't remember the last time I went to the gym. I got 9 horses and I trick ride." So that's my gym.
Absolutely. I can imagine it's not all been rainbows and sunshine. So can you tell us a little bit about some injuries that you've had, any setbacks that you've had because of injuries?
I've had a number of injuries. Not too many. I have been, touch wood, I need some wood somewhere. Very lucky overall. But I think my biggest thing with injuries, I don't know if this is jumping on ahead a little bit, but I never give myself the full time to recover. Quite impatient with recovery. So, for example, I broke my collarbone doing a saddle fall once on a job, and fully, like that, separated apart.
Clavicles are the worst ones to break.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're designed for, so it's better than smashing my shoulder to bits, but it was a very frustrating, very, very long recovery. They wouldn't operate because they said, quite rightly so, if we put metal in you, you're going to throw yourself off a horse again and smash the metal inside you, and then we'll have an even worse problem. But it meant I had to wait probably 2 months just for the bones to meet before they could start healing. It was very early on in my stunt career. I was very keen to get back to work. I did go to I did do a job after not a long time, which was fine. But then when I feel like nearly healed, it must have been 3 months down the line. So I was like, I'm good to go. I went and did a wrestling film just during the rehearsals. So luckily we weren't filming for a while longer. But I took like a crossbody where someone jumps off the top rope and lands on 2 of us. And it just went a little bit wonky. And I landed sideways with a person on top of me. And I just heard it go ding. And I was like, great, that's fractured again. I remember going, I hadn't even been signed off by the hospital yet. So I remember going back and having another x-ray, and the doctor looking at my x-ray, and then scrolling to the next one, and scrolling back, and as in like, have I got them the wrong way around? And like looking at me, and I was like, oh yeah, I refractured it last week, sorry. And he's like, yes, you did. So that was another setback. But ultimately, when I was eventually patient enough, it has healed stronger because it's now doubled over, and I haven't got metal in it, so I don't have ongoing problems so far. But yeah.
So would you say that's changed the way you look at doing your stunts? Are you a bit conscious of redoing it for a 3rd time?
I'll tell you what, because I did that in doing a saddle fall, I then, just as it happened, didn't get booked for a while. Hopefully it wasn't because of that. You can't choose when you do stunts. They just come and go, like depending on if you're doubling, of course, when they come up. So I hadn't done one for maybe 2 or 3 years or something. And it kind of became this thing in my head, because the last one I did I broke my collarbone.
Yeah.
And that definitely played on my mind because I try and represent myself as a stunt woman that specializes in horses. And of course, the most common horse stunt is a saddle fall. That's what I should be able to do. And I've done plenty of them. And the longer it was in between doing one, the more I built it up in my head like it was going to be bad and a big deal. And then when I finally got booked for one and did it, I was like, oh no, it's okay. I can do these again.
Yeah. I think with recovery, a lot of it is retraining the brain, not just
100%.
the body, because you built up fear, anxiety, you're apprehending what's going to happen. So I completely understand.
So that phrase, get back on the horse,
Yeah.
I suppose, excuse the pun, talking about horses, but it is so true.
Yeah.
Because the longer you leave something and the more your brain starts to overthink it, the harder it is. But actually, your body does know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't forget.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, what would you say would be your biggest comeback after a setback?
It was probably that, actually, because it had been such a big time and I was so concerned about it. I built it up in my head. I was incredibly nervous. I had sleepless nights beforehand. And then when I went and did it on the day and it went well, I was so super chuffed. And then off the back of that, got 2 more saddle falls really quickly. I don't even know if it was off the back or it just so happened that, again, that time period had a lot of saddle falls for women.
Yeah.
And then my confidence just grew and grew and grew with them. And it just felt great to be able to go, actually, it wasn't just a one-off that I went and back and did it. No, I've done more and more since. And now for back to how I was initially with them.
Yeah. So would you, on reflection of the initial time, would you, if you could wind back time, would you have waited longer for the healing, or would you still gonna do the same again?
No regrets. No regrets.
So
It's not that I wouldn't have gone back and done anything differently, but I have certainly. Oh, I'm gonna absolutely. If I was gonna say I've learned from it, but I currently have an injury and I'm going to trick ride tomorrow. So I haven't learned from it at all, have I? I have not learned. But no, I wouldn't change. I would just try and think that what the outcome could be. I am more sensible. I'm older now as well. This was nearly 10 years ago. I do look after myself a bit more. I am trying to be more sensible. But sometimes the want to do cool stuff is overriding.
Yeah, absolutely. Mind over matter.
Exactly.
So we're sort of freaking it all together. If you could tell yourself a message, young you, what would you say to yourself?
That you don't have to pick just one thing.
Yeah.
And I think young people in particular, but everyone is channeled into one path. You have to pick one thing from school, from when you're a kid and you don't even know who you are, and that's the thing you have to do forever. I've lived many different lives. I'm not even 35 yet, next week. And I'm still starting new things. I actually only started trick riding in shows last year.
Really?
Yeah. This is only my second season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my God.
And I've wanted to do that for a long time, but I didn't think it was possible. I didn't know where to train. I didn't have the networking, and I wasn't near anyone. I was in London.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pursue the stunts. So, and there'll probably be another thing that I start doing. In fact, Mike wants me to start jousting next year.
Oh.
So, and yes, that is one of the hardest things to juggle everything when you do lots of sports, because I still show jump competitively as well.
Oh wow.
But there is time. You don't have to do everything all the time. You can find, do pockets of bits. We tend to do it season by season sort of thing. The show seasons, the jousting, the trick riding, and then as soon as they finish, it's our last show. Be show jumping season as of next week. I'm going to say
No rest for the wicked.
no rest for the wicked. Exactly. If I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, that's lovely. Do you find that your fitness has an impact on the horse's performance? So when you obviously, I didn't know you actually were competitive in show jumping.
Yeah.
Do you find that has an impact on the horse's performance?
I think definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think you're seeing that more as well in certainly in the high level. I remember reading something about the Olympic team. I don't think it was the last Olympics, probably the one before, but they were getting all the eventers to run. And they were like, we've never run before, we just ride horses and stuff. But they gave them a fitness routine to help with their sport, and actually it did help. And I think I find that too, particularly with the show jumping, doing other sports and other exercise. And also the horses, they go and do a 2-minute round and they're done. Like, I have 2 show jumpers at the moment, so I'm riding 2 horses, warming up, riding 2 horses, plus mucking out and feeding and helping others. And you know, they go back in the stable, have a snooze. It's actually and they're really fit, so I've got to try and keep up with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's lovely. So, talking of your horses, if your horses could sum you up or give you some words that would sort of represent you, what would they say about you if horses would speak?
This is a hard question. I hope they would say nice things. They would probably say I'm a bit ridiculous. Like, what is this crazy woman doing all the time? Because, again, like, because we have a variety of different horses that do different things, they probably see me trick ride on one, and then that one's like, what the hell is she doing? And then the one I'm trick riding on looks at me, watches me jump on the other, and then, what the hell is she doing there?
Yeah.
No. But I also like to think that they see me as one of the herd.
Yeah.
We have owls at home. We're very lucky to have them, and they all live in small herds. They live out 24/7, and because we're on the yard all the time, you know, teaching, working, riding, we spend a lot of time with them, just sort of in and around doing stuff in the field, as well as exercising them. And I like to think, maybe it's optimistic of me, but I like to think that they see me as a friend.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. I mean, they even came to your wedding day. That looks spectacular.
We did, yeah.
Right, but those that obviously don't know Liz, Liz had an amazing wedding where you went. Was it you went down the aisle on? Was it Nell?
We rode back down, yeah. So I got my my bridesmaids and Mike's groomsmen to lead the dogs and the horses down, or 2 horses down the aisle. Couldn't have done all 9. And they stood at the end while we got married, and then we got on the horses and rode back down.
That's just a dream.
It was great.
Oh, when they both behaved.
They, you know what? They were amazingly good. I was riding a 4-year-old that hadn't even started like his competitive show season. I think he'd been to like 1 show, or maybe he was 5, but he was young, and we were like, I was like, I don't know how he's going to react with a crowd of people, like, you know. But they were amazing. And then we got to the end, and the photographer was like, I'm going to fly a drone to take a photo of everyone. He put the drone up, and Milky was like, oh my god!
Oh my
And like we tried to reverse into all our like friends and family. And I was just laughing. I thought it was the best thing ever. I was just like spinning around like, woo!
Makes the day memorable.
It was so. My friend's got a really great video of me just like in my wedding dress and cowboy boots. Like, it was great.
Definitely makes it memorable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, not neglecting nutrition, that's a very big, vital part. What would you say is your guilty pleasure at the yard at the minute? What is it? Biscuits. What type of biscuits?
You know what? The digestive is really underrated. You cannot go wrong with a digestive biscuit dunked in a mug of tea. Like, I could probably just eat one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's very bad, but I'll have a digestive with tea, and then I'll be like, oh, I'll have breakfast after I've done the yard, and then it'll be lunchtime, and I'm like, all I've eaten today is digestive biscuits.
There's some more reason to dig to.
Just make good digestion, right?
Yeah.
Surely.
Absolutely. Oh, well, Liz, thank you so much for coming and joining us today. So, where can people find you if you want to follow your journey and to watch and see more of what you do and follow what you do with your jumping, your stunts, the trick riding, your certainly jousting, but you'll be learning from the best because you'll be with Mike Collin as his top tier. So.
He is an international champion jouster, yeah. Got big shoes to fill.
Wow, shout out to Mike Collin.
Yeah. A little plug. Instagram's the best way. We have 2 accounts, one for the riding school, which is MC_DC_stunts, and my own, which is LizDC_stunts.
It's really gone full circle, so
yeah.
You wanted to do it, now you're doing it, and now you're inspiring others to do it, so that's amazing.
So,
oh, well done, Liz. Thank you so much for today.
No worries, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, lovely. Well, we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. Bye.